He's a Leo. He's king of his own castle. Yeah. Even from a toddler, he'd arrive at the side of the bed, and you would know by what he was wearing, you know, as to what your day was going to be like, because he'd either be in football kit and have a ball tucked under his arm, and you'd then have to get up and get him out for air and exercise, or, you know, it would be something else.
This is 3-year-old Kieron Williamson, already determined and on the verge of becoming a world-famous child prodigy.
It's brilliant, sweetheart.
I can have a look at it.
The dinosaurs are going to love being in there, aren't they?
Can I have a look, please?
Painting is his life. At just 6 years old, he was thrust into the media spotlight, with buyers worldwide prepared to pay thousands for his work. At 14, he's already worth around £2 million. His success is no accident. Behind this talent is an extraordinary family.
Where's the caviar, Mother?
Don't we normally have champagne?
Meet Team Williamson at their home in North Norfolk. This is where it all happens.
I'm Kieran, I'm an artist, I play football, and I am a proud supporter of Leeds United.
I'm Billy Jo, I'm 12 years old and I'm Kieran's sister and I love making jewellery.
I'm Keith, husband to Michelle and father to Kieran and Billy Jo. My main jobs within the company are to get Kieran up and out painting in the morning and bringing his stuff around, and also to buy and sell artwork.
I'm Michelle, I'm mum to Kieran and Billy Jo, and I help to run the family business.
14-year-old Kieran is preparing for his biggest event of the year, his annual exhibition at the Picturecraft Gallery in Holt, Norfolk. In 5 weeks, he'll be exhibiting new landscape paintings and a brand new venture, large studio portraits. The whole family is involved.
We're such a tight network, aren't we, as a four? When you think that we're all at home pretty much all day, every day, we get on really well, and you have to, because all of our stress comes all at the same time for everybody. There isn't an anchor during this time, to be honest.
Michelle and Keith had no business experience. They've had to learn everything from scratch.
It was 2010 that was the year it all got stressful for us, because Kieran had reached the VAT threshold, so we were forced to put a business structure in place. And so we sought legal and financial advice. Neither of us particularly wanted to be in a position where we were running a limited company. We didn't know anything about it. We didn't want to be directors, did we? The whole implications of, you know, was Kieran going to be allowed to be a director? No, he couldn't, because he wasn't legally old enough. And who do you get in to run a business like this? You know, who do you trust? And so we realised that, you know, we would probably be the best guardians for the business and for Kieran. It's all year round, really. I mean, there's Keith getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to take Kieran on location. But pre-exhibition is
a busy time, stressful time.
Yeah, it's a busy, stressful time, because there's just so much to remember. Is this going to be his 10th exhibition with Picturecraft? It is becoming easier, you know, we feel as if we're growing into it. Keith and I haven't trained to do this, it's not our expertise at all, so you do feel as if you're swimming upriver.
With Mum and Dad running his financial affairs, Kieran is free to paint most days. It's early June. Today he's on the North Norfolk coast, starting a new painting, which might feature in his exhibition.
I reckon it needs to be about here, not a lot further left.
No.
I think it's, because you want to get this big vessel in on that, because that's the foreground feature, which could take a figure, couldn't it?
It could, yeah.
And then the whole thing winding through to the church. It's a classic classic Norfolk estuary shot, this, isn't it? I mean, I don't think you could get more classic than that, really.
No.
Anyway, you go.
Kieran's had no formal training, but artist David Curtis often accompanies him on his painting trips. He's become a friend and mentor.
It's just the buzz of it, getting up in the morning and finding inspiration still. I don't think I'll ever run out of inspiration. You just see things all the time, you think that'd make a nice picture, and it's the constant inspiration, I think, that keeps me going. You do lose yourself in periods of painting. You're so engrossed in the picture and focusing on what you're doing, making sure everything you're doing is right. So I hardly ever think about where it's going to go or where it's going to sell or anything like that. It's sort of all about the moment in time.
He's chosen Morstan Key on the North Norfolk coast.
On a grey day, it is still nice. It's got enough content in the landscape to make a painting, but equally it's lovely on a bright sunny day. The light on the mud, it just has everything you want as an artist. It has the estuary, the boats, the sky. It's got everything.
The distinction between the estuary bank and the actual shaping is very subtle, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Some art critics have said that he already paints like an old master. David, who has had a similar journey from a young painter to a well-respected artist, is well placed to help Kieran through this critical period.
Kieran's probably one or two of a generation. There'll be a few in each generation. And there probably are many people who have got the aptitude, but whether they grasp the nettle and actually do anything about it is another issue. Now he's seen the light very early in his years and suddenly realised, I can do this and I'm going to develop it, probably subconsciously. The Mini Monet, the little kid, is now bordering on an adult. So he's going to have to mix with his peers, and so his work won't be seen quite as unique. I mean, you could call it the bubble bursting, but because he's got all his foundations so well in place and his technique is so assured, as he moves forward into adulthood, his painting will take on a maturity, and it won't be big leaps of progress. It'll be steady away, and eventually he'll reach his plateau where intellectually he may change his ideas. But let's wait and see.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Thomas from Berlin. Hello.
Hello there, nice
Thomas
to see you.
from Berlin.
Nice to see you.
I must tell you something. Last year in September I was the first time in Great Britain. My son lives in Norwich, and I saw the dragons in the forest.
Oh yeah.
And I said, yours. And I said, wow, I cannot believe this. And you know,
Kieran's been spotted by a tourist from Germany who has seen his work.
and I wish you good luck and always good hands and wonderful eyes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Especially to love this what you do.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Kieran takes all the attention in his stride.
That's lovely.
When Kieran first hit the headlines, you didn't know when that was ever going to start, stop, finish or anything. And when someone phoned up to say, can we film with Kieran, you just used to say yeah, because you just wanted to get him out on film, because that's part of his history.
But we thought it was a one-minute
thought,
wonder.
yeah, so you'd done everything we were asked.
Saying yes to one project, but
And now, obviously, I mean, we're getting loads of requests, but 90% of them we haven't got the time to do it anyway. Because but it's nice to work with people you know and friendly faces, really, isn't it? That's what we like.
But bizarrely, Samsung have wanted Kieran to stand on top of a mountain in Spain to hold one of their gizmos for an advert.
like you've almost got...
Gap Clothing have wanted him to travel to Los Angeles to model their clothing. Scientists have wanted to place electrodes on his head when he's been painting so that they can assess his brain activity when he's been drawing and painting. They've wanted to study him drawing still life things to see how he's different from other artists. Astrologers have been in touch with us wanting to know the exact time of his birth so that they can work out what the planets were doing at the time. Just to try and understand where he gets it
But
from,
the nice
because
thing is,
clearly
like,
he doesn't get it from us.
Did you say yes to any of that?
No, we didn't.
But
No, we
Samsung
didn't.
and that's really nice of them, and like I think it was Nintendo and that, just to
yeah.
consider him. I mean, because at the end of the day, there's thousands of people out there who they could choose.
Oh yeah, that end bit is quite misty, isn't it?
Drift away.
After I've finished one picture or during while I'm painting the picture, there'll be something else I'll see and I'll want to paint that. The inspiration and the drive of getting better and hopefully improving my work. Yeah.
In less than 4 hours, Kieran's finished.
You happy with it?
Yeah, not bad. The next step will probably be sort of taking it home to the studio, tidying up a couple of areas and including a figure, and then I'll probably scale it up, so do it on the bigger one and either stored upstairs or it'll be included in the next exhibition.
To date, the top price paid for one of his landscapes is £55,000.
So, tell me what you've been finding out about the Celts then.
About sort of the Celtic calendar months and their names and the meanings.
Okay.
Kieran is homeschooled with his sister, a decision the family didn't take lightly.
Yeah.
I think it's a difficult decision for any parent to make. What options their child is going to have for high school, and we did go through all our options available to us at the time. I think having seen how Kieran and Billy Joe have both flourished as a result of that freedom in that process, we feel that even now it's still the right decision to have made.
The information
They're taught by his retired primary school teacher, Beryl Knowles.
He used to get up at some unearthly hour of the morning and do lots of painting, and then not exactly be dragged kicking and screaming to school, but he would come with some reluctance, I think it's fair to say. Whereas now, if that's what he wants to do, I mean, he told me the other morning he'd been up really early to paint the fog. Okay, well that's fine, go and paint the fog, because that's when it's there, and when you come home and have your breakfast and have a shower, you might feel like doing a bit of schoolwork. That wouldn't happen if he had to go to school.
The family home is full of art. Everywhere you turn, there's a Seago or a Walter Langley.
I like how he's painted, like the pillow, and got the light and shade on the pillow, and how well he's painted the hands. They say you can tell how good the painter is by how well he's painted the hands. You can tell there how good he was. I think painting's in my blood, whether I like it or not. I don't think I'll ever stop painting. It's just like my best friend.
These are the great artists who inspire Kieran to be even better.
All he can see is the Newland School, your Edward Seegers and your Munnings, and he wants to get to where they were or above where they were, and that's his driven factor. I mean, I just hope he continues, really, to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
I'd still like him to be a footballer.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. I'd like him to play for Leeds United and hold that Premiership Cup up as captain. That would do me.
As he leaves childhood behind, his work is changing. He's beginning to experiment more with figurative paintings.
I'm just drawing it out at the moment, just to give me an idea of the composition, and then I'll start to paint it.
Hello, how are you? All right, how are you? Nice to see you.
See you.
Hello, young man.
How are you?
All right.
Time of year again, isn't
It is indeed.
In the last year, Kieran has produced just under 100 paintings, oils, pastels to watercolours. Whittling them down to just over 40 pieces for the exhibition can be difficult. So the family take advice from Adrian Hill, who runs the gallery where Kieran's work will be sold. 25 paintings will also be available to buy from a mailing list 3 weeks before the exhibition opens.
The online sale came about from very hectic opening days where literally I had people travelling from all over the world and camping in the car park, you know, on the weeks leading up to the exhibition. And you know, we opened the doors and it was literally, you know, it was almost like the first day of a Harrods sale. There was sort of not quite fights breaking out, but it wasn't far off. So we had to manage that process, and also we had to find a way of selling paintings fairly. These are the ones that will go out to the mailing list, all right? So again, as a nice portfolio of your work, 4 different sizes as well, so you've got 4 different price points. And you've got an element of Cornwall there, lovely painting of Norfolk too, and then Suffolk as well. So that's absolutely super.
Typically, the smaller paintings sell for £2,000. Larger pieces, around £30,000.
Are they shells that you got from holiday?
Yep. The only thing is, like, they were white pearls, and then I put them in on the Angeline fibre and they turned that colour.
When she's not helping out with preparations for the exhibition, Sister Billy Jo is working on her own commercial project, making jewellery.
When we come over here for the exhibition, I tend to like spend my time in Lisa's shop, and then like we just bounce off ideas and dip in and out of here in Pitchcraft. So I like help package Kieran's cards, and I'll come over here again. I don't really get jealous because I get just as much attention, and I just like enjoy what I'm doing, and I just think his like thing that he does is like amazing. So yeah, I'm not jealous at all, no.
Everyone's agreed on the final selection of paintings, but so far, Kieran's commercial success has hinged on him being a child artist.
I think probably going forward, you know, commercially for Kieran, you know, changing from a child to an adult is probably only comparable to that of the great Pablo Picasso, because he was only 9 years old when he had his first exhibition, and we all know what an incredibly successful career that he forged. And I think commercially, Kieran will probably find that, you know, as an adult, he will maybe continue to paint. I mean, who knows of the future, but I think he'll probably evolve his style somewhat, and I think he will probably take his collectors along, you know, with him.
So far, Kieran's not had to think about the commercial side. Keith and Michelle act as his agent, manage his money, which is held in trust, and even help choose the paintings for the exhibition.
Mum and Dad have been really good for taking that pressure off me, saying what you've got is what will go in. We always get 1 or 2 popular ones every year, but I don't feel that I have to paint, you know, 7 or 8 of them because that's what will sell. Because I don't sort of sell my soul. I paint what sort of fires me up, and there'll be certain scenes that I will paint 2 or 3 times just because I love painting them, but I never, if my heart isn't in it, I don't do it.
I think you're driven because it's something that you're interested in, but it's the other commercial side that we don't feel comfortable with, because we're an actually private family, and you know, being in front of the cameras doesn't, you know, it's not comfortable, it doesn't come easy necessarily, but it's something that, you know, is part of the package, and Kieran's happy to do it, isn't he?
Well, you seem happy in front of the camera, don't you, Dom? Come get her off. Cut.
It's Thursday the 9th of June, the day the online sale begins. In a few minutes, 11,500 people on their mailing lists will be the first to see Kieran's 2016 work. It's unique because most buyers prefer to view a painting in person. Kieran's popularity means his fans will buy online.
On that particular email is all of the prices, images that are available for sale. If I look here, we've had somebody open one in Armenia. There we've got Germany and France and Spain, Switzerland, obviously in the UK as well, because we're, you know, we've got most of Kieran's clients, you know, still UK based, but we've got them being opened in the States, in a number of different states: North Carolina, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, in Dallas, Oklahoma. So South Africa, just had one opened. Australia, so Papua New Guinea, Indonesia.
While Adrian manages the online sale, Team Williamson are busy finishing the framing.
He hadn't signed that. Did you want him to sign that?
Kieran, you need to sign it, please.
You need to sign it, mate.
Okay.
Do I do it in here or?
Yeah, just go and get my stuff.
All right. I think we decided to do most of the framing ourselves, didn't we, to minimise the risk of accidents happening. If it happens in the house, we then haven't got to worry about insurance and accident reports and blame and stuff.
We like to see them framed up, don't we?
Yeah, it's our way of detaching from it and making sure that it gets sent out in the best possible condition. We know that the framers will do a good job, but we would worry more if the pictures were off site than we would knowing that they're all here. And yeah, it's our way of saying goodbye, isn't it? Mm. We have had to learn how to do it from scratch. It's not something that we knew how to do. But thankfully, Michael Hill at the Framers, well, he gave you some sessions, didn't he?
When Kieran first sold his paintings, there were several that were unsigned, so we had to strip them back out, and he gave me a crash course on how to frame. And then if we ever get stuck, we just phone him up and he's there with his wisdom of knowledge. There we are.
Is it the right way up?
Yeah.
Yay.
Finished job.
It's the day before the exhibition opens. Online sales are going well, with some buyers purchasing a Kieron Williamson painting as an investment. But he also has a hardcore following of loyal fans like Kimberly Walker, who treasure their painting.
At his first exhibition, people were phoning up for specific paintings which weren't available, and then asking to have any of the paintings, regardless of which ones they were. So I think maybe those people are buying the paintings as some sort of investment for the future, and so they've got a different approach to doing that. I personally would want to choose a painting because I love it, but everyone's different and they have different reasons for buying them. From the family point of view, it's a lovely keepsake to pass through the family.
Kieran is no longer a child, but so far the interest in him shows no sign of stopping. Today, a French TV company has come to film him.
In France, we have a lot of artists. That's a country of artists, but we don't have our Kieran. We don't have a prodigy like him, so that's why it was really important to witness and to show him to friends. Kieran will stay in the memories, I think. Maybe we'll see him in history books, because it's so, well, you don't see that every day, you know, these talents at this age.
It's the first day of the 10th exhibition. Today, buyers will decide what they are willing to pay for Kieran's work.
Hello. Morning. Morning. Oh, yeah. Are you excited? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
Before the opening, I'm sort of really excited, especially the night before. It's just excited and can't wait to get here. And then, sort of as we get here, the nerves will start to kick in, and sort of worried that sort of the public reaction won't be very good. But I think that's sort of normal, just because this year, especially with sort of doing more portraiture and people, not sure how well it will be received.
It's the first year I've ever seen Kieran excited to come to his own exhibition. You know, I think he was waiting for the feedback on his portraiture, and he's worked really hard in the studio, and you know, a year's work, or longer than a year really, some of it, and he's just really buzzing today.
Me and Dad sort of say sometimes, I wonder what I'd be doing now, or we'd be doing now, if I hadn't sort of found painting. It's pretty hard to imagine life without it. I'm sort of really, really happy that it has happened, you know. Yeah, I can't imagine myself without painting anymore.
Michelle and Keith are already planning for the next stage in Kieran's career. Next year, they are releasing a new book charting his work and influences. When Kieran reaches 18, he will take financial control of his own business, with his parents carrying on as directors. But for now, his focus is painting.
I never sort of think what I'll do with the money. I'm sort of more happy to just get back into my studio and get cracking down painting, sort of working towards the exhibition next year.
We always thought with an exhibition, this will be the last one, because he's bound to give it up, because he was a young boy growing up. You know, I mean, Kieran changed his mind so many times with toys, with everything really, and he's always had this fad for so many weeks. Then he moves on. So every exhibition we done, we thought this will be the last one. Let's really make it a nice one, and
he's proved us wrong.
Yeah, he has proved us wrong.
I think I'll always carry on painting for the love of it, because I know in myself that I've got the drive to carry on painting. So it might be difficult for Mum and Dad. They might not know if I'll carry on painting, but I know sort of in myself that I'll carry on painting.